And we're live. Thank you for everyone on YouTube for bearing with us. This is the first time I've had to start the meeting by myself, and I started the Hangout from the wrong spot, which wouldn't let me broadcast. So, thank you for bearing with us. Good evening. I am the Honorable Lord Ulrich Eisenhand, and you are watching the February ILOI discussion meeting for the Kingdom of Meridies. I am Pennon Herald, which is the Kingdom Submissions Herald for the Kingdom of Meridies. And if I could please get everyone in chat to introduce themselves, we'll start with my boss, who just happened to join us.
Hello, I'm Beacon. Otherwise known as Flannid. If you don't know who I am, excuse me, I'm finishing my dinner. Just so y'all know, we now have a Spark. It's
Yay.
not official till the 1st, but it's woo.
Woo.
Yep. So, all right. Onward.
Hopefully she doesn't burn the place down.
I don't think so.
Nah.
She'll be fine. I'm going to go find the letter. Next,
let's go to my second in command over here, Cypher.
Hi, I'm the Cypher Herald, Kurt Bogner. Happy to be here.
All right, let's see here. My immediate predecessor.
Greetings and salutations. I am Senor Carlos. I am the herald for the Shire of Arenal. And now that the computer is trying to let me in, I am here to join you.
Right. See here, Mistress Bronwyn.
Hi, I'm Mistress Bronwyn Ogoodwelly, and I am White Antelope Herald, which is not a position, it's just a title. And I'm here commenting freelance.
Yay! Lucian?
I'm Lucien d'Artois. I'm the Lambent Herald responsible for commentary.
Finna?
I'm Thorfinna Mossdaughter. I am the Deputy to Golden Iris in the Barony of Gladenfeld, and I'm just here to watch and learn and have fun.
All right.
woohoo.
And Master Alexander is also with us, but he appears to have had a phone call, so he will be rejoining us shortly. All right, so we've got a pretty hefty letter for this month, so let's go ahead and dive right in.
Yay, 40th year.
Yeah, because we had a consultation table at 40th year, and we brought home, what was it, 16 submissions?
Uh-huh.
But we had a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we did. We had lots of fun. All right,
And
so number one, Etheria Maritima, new name and new device. Submitter desires feminine name. Language most important, Greek/Roman/Byzantine. Meaning of the sea most important.
Well, all the elements seem to be documented.
Yeah, I like Frida's links for helping document. I'll probably end up pulling those. Any other commentary
I didn't find
on the
any
name?
conflicts.
on the name? Yes, on the name.
No, I checked out all the name documentation and it looks good. So I think we can go ahead. Feel comfortable about sending this one up.
All right. So, on to the device. And I know we have some opinions on this one. Azure Scaly Argent and a Scallop Inverted, and on a Chief Argent, a Trident Festwise Azure. I believe Terran cleaned up the Blazon a little bit, dropping that first Argent out.
Yes.
Mhm.
And the commenters seem to have a question on whether or not the contrast was high enough between the scaly field and the escallop.
Well, the field is not neutral. It's about at least 2/3 azure, and I don't have any problem at all identifying the escallop. So it would be a point of technicality.
But both in the black and white and the color, I mean, you can see it. It's there.
Right.
Now, if it was any smaller, we'd have a problem.
If it was inverted, we would have a problem.
But it's huge, and it's not.
So I feel fairly confident sending this up. I don't see anything so glaringly obvious that we have to return it.
Cool.
We agree?
Agree.
Okay.
All right.
One down. Woohoo!
All right. Next one. Eleanor Kite. A new device. Per chevron, invected, azure, and ore. 2 eagle's heads, erased, endorsed, argent, and a drop spindle proper. In commentary, we determined that we needed to have it be a wooden drop spindle proper, threaded vert, and that we needed a period drop spindle, because this modern drop spindle is no longer allowed in SCA heraldry.
And the eagle's heads erased were also redrawn. I like the second redraw.
And we have heard back from the submitter, and they have approved the redraw.
Excellent.
So we will, if there's no other, if there are no other comments, we will send that up.
Looks good to me.
Yeah,
Didn't have any conflicts.
I didn't find any conflicts.
Yeah, it looked like Cypher grabbed the one that we're using straight out of Mistholm. So
Good job, Cypher.
Excellent.
He took initiative on it.
Uh-huh. Hey, I see a torch.
Hello.
Hey, Matthias.
How y'all doing?
doing good.
Master Matthias.
Yes.
Yes, Master Matthias.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
Being attacked by Vader.
It's still weird to hear.
Hey, you're an M&M.
Yes. All right. What number are we on right now?
Number 3.
We just finished number 2. We're getting ready to start on number 3.
We gonna be here a while.
We had some technical issues. We didn't start on time.
Okay.
I'm still learning how to start this whole. I'm still learning this whole technology thing.
All right.
I'm a 15th century German. I don't do computers.
All
All right, so
Alrighty
number 3, Ben-Geir Mikkelsen, name and device. Starting with the name, masculine name, no major changes. Language and culture, most important. I'm assuming that means Norse because they can specify.
Right.
It does say Old Norse.
Yeah, and both names are from Gearbossi.
Correct.
Lucian confirms that they are both in Gearbossi.
On the correct pages listed in the documentation.
Excellent.
Documentation was not put in here as to forming the patronymic, but that should be the appropriate patronymic form.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, and then the device, quarterly ore and argent, a bow and cross azure, and a bordure sable. We're got 2 people saying no conflicts found.
I didn't find any.
I didn't find any. I think this was this another 40-year submission?
Yes. Yes, it was. I helped with it.
I vaguely remember conflict checking this.
And Ulrich, I have all the digital artwork from 40th year. So if you need anything, just let me know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that Kurt put everything into Dropbox, so I think I got it all.
Mhm.
All right, so we're good on the device. Moving right along.
Excellent.
Um,
Yeah, you take a stab at this one name.
Pemgin.
and I believe that it is to look at the form. It's supposed to be pronounced Queven because
Okay.
it's Gaelic.
Yep.
Cleveland.
Queven to Ipswich. Name and device. I have contacted this submitter about the commentary here. The issue is that this is a modern spelling of the town name Ipswich. So in order to use it, we will either need to have a period spelling of Ipswich or change to of for lingua anglica.
Is he agreeable?
I haven't heard back from him yet.
Yeah, because even in the documentation that he cited, it says it's a modern spelling of the name in the documentation.
Right.
Well, we can keep it to Ipswich if the spelling of the city is altered.
Yes, we can keep it Ipswich if we use a period spelling of Ipswich, which we had half a dozen options down below.
Including a spelling beginning with a Y, which would be about probably the closest.
And if I could get someone to check actually in O'Corin and McGuire that the spelling that they have with the accent over the A is
Hang on, I'll grab my copy.
because I wasn't able to find one with just the accent over the A when I was doing my searches, but I don't actually have a copy of Irish names in the house. I thought we had one in Penn and Library, and I didn't find it.
I think the last time we looked up anything that was Irish or Gaelic or something like that, I think it was one of Adelaide's books.
Probably, yeah. I know she brought it to Artsy Crown last year. I think that's the last time I saw it.
Right.
Because I was able to find the name with that spelling without the accent or the A, dated to 1159.
Okay, are we talking about the first name, the given name?
We're talking about Queven.
Okay, I'm looking.
Which would put it within 200 years of the Ipswich with the Y, which would make that name construction acceptable because they are complementary name groups within 200 years.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
it's
see.
in OCM with just the accent over the A.
Okay.
It is. That's the header form. There's also a more modern form.
Does it have a date?
Let's see, I'm looking.
It doesn't.
No.
It says the principal bearer of this name was Saint Queven, abbot and founder of Glendalough, whose feast day is 3 June.
So we're talking a saint's name.
Right. They mentioned that it was a saint's name.
It also says that the name's been anglicized to Kevin.
Oh.
Right. Yes.
So Queven should be fairly close.
Okay.
But there are no dates on it. We know that the way that O'Corin and McGuire's is arranged, the second spelling should be a more modern one, or should be a more modern one.
Right. And is this spelling the first or
This one is the first.
The one that they've got listed and is submitted is the header spelling, the first header spelling.
And Saint Queven is spelled like this as well.
Okay.
Right.
Excellent. Okay, so it sounds like whichever option he wants will work. We just have to hear back from the submitter and figure out which option he actually wants.
I would say for right now, go with a hold.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing. Yeah. All right, and moving on to the device. Or an Alacamulus statent proper on a chief manager in arrow festwise ore.
Well, the style is fine. The only thing we're arguing about or discussing really is the tincture of the primary,
critter.
correct?
Because with it being a heraldic monster, it doesn't have a proper tincture.
And he wants it to be brown.
I don't know, because, again, I haven't heard back from him.
Either.
So, assuming that he wants it brown, is it good?
Brown is not heraldic color.
I'm not really sure. I mean, we do register things like a brown bear or something, but the
They're
thing
not
is that
heraldic
there's a
color.
such right, and there is a such thing as a brown bear. I don't think there's any such thing as a brown alacamelius or whatever this is.
They're supposed to be camels.
Okay.
It
It looks more like a llama, but with a little bit of a hump. But
It's a camel llama.
Miss Holm was kind of iffy about
yeah,
what
it's a
exactly it was.
yeah.
And they could only, according to Miss Holm, there's only one period, very late period instance of somebody using it without permission from the College of Arms.
Mm-hmm. So we have absolutely no clue what tincture that was, correct?
It says an Allocamelus passant purpur, so I'm guessing purple.
Okay, well that's a heraldic color.
Hang on a
though.
second, honey.
That is a another registered one.
I think he may have to pick a color, pick a heraldic tincture.
I believe so. I realize that he probably wants a brown one, but we don't do brown unless it is a like a specific breed. I think horses can be brown and
Bears and
yeah, again, I mean those are
dogs,
recognized,
cats. I think
mhm.
those are recognized outside the realm of monsters. So
exactly. So
yeah,
I think the very fact that this is categorized as a monster is what is giving us the issue.
Yeah, because proper is restricted to something that actually has that tincture in a proper form. So you can't, for example, have a proper calico cat because there is no defined proper calico.
yes.
yeah,
Welcome, Taryn.
And because this is
We are talking in number 4.
Also, you
device.
could not have a dragon proper.
Sorry for talking over you, Lucian.
This is a mythical creature because it's got the head of a donkey and the body of a camel, so it's not something that would be found in nature.
how does it have a head of a donkey?
It looks like it has a head. It has the ears of a donkey,
Well,
maybe. It has
It's
a head
supposed
with a
to
lot-
have the head of a donkey.
Oh, okay. I can see it. In any case, it's a heraldic
Okay,
monster.
yeah,
So it has no proper coloration.
Of heraldry.
Now that I read it a little bit more, he doesn't say donkey. He says the other word.
Okay.
So that's what threw me off.
Okay, so is this a return?
Unless you can get him to
Because,
pick a tincture.
But even then, is that too much of a change from the original mission? I mean, changing the tincture of the primary charge.
Yeah, it would be. So it would have to be the device is a straight up return.
Okay.
But I mean, if we don't know what we're supposed to do with his name anyway, and you're going to have to contact him, then you can get him to pick a color and resubmit it.
Right.
Right.
We can just
He's
turn right
got
around.
an email into him, so
Yeah, we just got to let them know that the device is an instant kickback, but we're going to, once you give me permission to change your name, we can send up the new device.
Okay. Alrighty then. Moving along to number 5.
woohoo!
Castellana de Luna. New name and device.
This was fun to draw up.
This was fun to consult on.
Yes.
All right, so desires feminine name, no major changes. Sound most important. I was
the name
able.
seems well documented.
Yeah.
I was able to find both names to. I believe it's the same article, just separate parts of the same article. So
Yes.
and it's Juliana. So I think the docs are good.
Mm-hmm. I didn't find any conflicts.
Yeah, the closest we had was Catalina de Luna, and I think that is the difference between Catalina and Castellana are substantial enough. Where they
I hear 2 different syllables that are different.
Correct.
All right, so the name
It's actually
is good.
Castellana because it's a double L,
Yes.
so it's completely different.
Yeah. Again, I'm German.
So Yana instead of Lana.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, Castellana de Luna.
So the name looks good.
Yeah.
Great. So, and now moving on to the device. Per chevron ployé throughout, per pure, semi of mullets argent and argent, a decrescent per pure.
I love chevron ployés.
Yeah, this one was fun to do.
Chapeau.
Lucian and Kurt both conflict checked it and didn't come back with anything. We good? I think we're good.
I'm sitting here wondering something about the blazes, because I'm looking at the one that Kurt found for a possible conflict, and wondering if that would work better for a blaze, and saying that it's per chevron ployé throughout per mullety of 6 points.
Be 5
This
points.
is not what
They're
these-
five
Or make it 5 points.
And I think mullets default to 5 points.
They
Is that
do.
correct?
They do.
Yeah.
So would it
So
be
you don't need to specify that.
mullet?
It would be semi of mullets.
I'm not really sure whether 5 and there's a difference between a mullet of 5 and a mullet of 6.
I don't believe there is, because stars are stars. But
Yeah.
However, we've got a different.
we've got a field division on this one, and the tincture of the moon is different.
But now I'm not so much questioning that as it is, is it per mulletly, or is it per ascendant of mullets?
It's a semi.
Either one will work. It also looks like chapeau.
Your name is Tara, not Mike.
No,
hear
we
you,
cannot
Tara.
hear you, Taryn. I can see your lips are moving, but I cannot hear your voice. Yell at the computer. Be
Mic
angry.
check failed.
Where's Keelan? We need to find Harold.
Karen, you always have problems with your mic.
Somebody needs to educate him.
He's married to a technologist.
Karen, I've got chat up, so I'll just look for you.
And if you're running a MacBook, you can reboot your device because sometimes the sound daemon on a MacBook will crash and it will not work with Google Hangouts. We have happen at work like all the freaking time.
He's saying mulletly is probably shorter, but seriously, it isn't going to be an issue.
All right.
Thank you.
So, are we okay with per chevron ployer throughout, or is it something else?
Well, it could be blazoned as Chappé, but I think, but when you go to look that up, you are told to look under the field division per chevron. So,
Right.
For purposes of conflict checking, I don't think it makes any difference.
I mean, I'm all for sending it up as is.
Yeah.
And
Reef can always
letting
reblaze
people
it.
with a
Right.
higher pay grade than me decide whether or not this is right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean that's the chevron pourlay that I pulled off of Mistone.
Right.
Okay.
So
And that's pretty much what Juliana has said in the last PH meeting was, guys, when in doubt, send it up and let them figure it out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So I believe that we're good then.
Didn't find any conflicts, so
All right. So
give it a shot.
we'll send that one up. Moving along, number 6, Karina de Molinas, new device, or a Columbine proper and a Bordeaux sable. Michael Girard points out that it should be a Columbine slipped and leaved proper because you have to do slipped and leaved when it has green bits.
Mhm.
Either
way, it's a very simple device.
I like it.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
It's not period, but it's pretty.
The color recognition doesn't seem to like the yellow very much. That seems to be a theme for this letter. That the
That's okay because we don't register the color.
Correct. Yeah.
Correction. So
Yeah,
it's
well-
clear that it's yellow from the colored version.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's
was
not
a
like,
printout,
it's not like
and I
the
went
yellow
over.
that it's not like the yellow that looked like orange that we had with the ducks.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Moving right along to number 7, Galfried Wolfstan. New name and device. So starting with the name, masculine name. Sound most important. Keep wolf in the name somewhere. Language and culture most important. I'm assuming English, given the documentation. Up and around York, so Northumbria. Seems like everything's checking out.
Well, they've found 3 different locations for Galfried and Galfriedus.
So he's going to be a Gallifreyan?
Yeah.
Time Lord.
Does he have his AOA? Because I don't think he can pass this name without an AOA.
Well, he's definitely got his bad wolf.
He needs to use it. He needs to change it from dogwoods to roses. Then.
Might be just a touch much.
Somebody needs to do a Doctor Who 50th device.
Oh god.
Big red button in the middle.
I've already done that. I've already done that consultation. Alexander, that is my Princess Buttercup story.
Okay.
We all have one.
We all do, yes.
All right. So the name's good. So we're gonna advance the name. Device. Ghouls on a pile regularly argent between two dogwood flowers proper. A wolf rampant sable. I believe it was Michael Gerard talking about that there's really nothing that requires the dogwood flowers to be proper because they're already white.
Yeah.
And so he altered the emblazon to indicate that.
Which simplifies the blazing.
It does.
Yes, it does.
And Iago points out that it is an SFPP, a step from period practice, to use dogwood blossoms because they are a New World plant.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't see any others, though.
that's the only SFPP on this, so I think we are good.
Yay, us.
Want to do a conflict check on it? I'm not seeing any comments to that effect.
You're right. I'm not seeing.
Hang on a second.
Yeah,
let me see what
I
can find.
spent too much time finding the links for the name articles. I forgot to do the conflict check.
Let's see.
Fired.
Oh,
No.
File.
No, not fired. We're just gonna put you on probation.
Charged complex line.
Gonna make me do this job for another 2 years. No.
Yes.
We're
You'll
just
get
gonna
it
withhold
right
your
by the
paycheck
end.
this month.
Alright,
Withhold your paycheck this
Okay.
month.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any conflicts.
Azure Goody order policy for tree now.
I don't think a dogwood is a New World plant, though.
Yes.
It is.
It is.
Then how did Virgil write about it?
Because he went to the New World. Duh.
Azure on a pile regularly between two roses, argent, a continental panther rampant ghoul. So we've got the tertiary charge a different color and the field a different color. So that's good. Let's see if I can find anything with ghouls. Field.
I'm actually not finding.
Doesn't appear, I'm not finding any regularly argent pile or regularly piles on a ghoul's field. So
All right.
that's one right there.
And this is what Miss Tom is saying about dogwood. Any flower known to period Europeans may be used in the society, though if the flower is not itself European, its use may be considered a step for period practice, as with the New World dogwood. An exception would be made for non-European flowers actually used in period armory, but no examples have been adducted. So I think what it is that this
are 30 to 60 different species commonly known as dogwoods, but the flowering dogwood isn't located in eastern North America.
Okay.
But there's one in Eurasia, but it's not the flowering dogwood. So I guess because this is a flower, comes from the flowering dogwood tree.
Yeah, I'm reading the same article.
Right.
And I don't think that we
looking through.
I don't think we could do dogwood flowers proper anyway, because while most dogwood flowers are white, there
They're
are
also
a
pink
large
and-
number that are pink.
Mm-hmm.
So we would have to specify that they are white dogwood flowers.
Okay, I'm still not finding any conflicts on this.
All right. So I say we go ahead and send her up.
alrighty.
Okay, number 8.
Rompu!
Gira Dunsdottir. New device. Per Ben Sinister Rompu, Ghouls and Argent in base a quill ghouls. Michael Gerard points out a couple of issues with that. It is per Ben Sinister beveled Ghouls and Argent.
Revealed.
I still like Rompu.
But it isn't Rompu.
It's not. Rompu
looks totally different.
Rompu looks totally different because it's basically a broken chevron.
Yeah.
Okay.
So prevent sinister, beveled ghouls and argent, a pen bendwise sinister ghouls.
Is this a pen or is this a quill?
Well,
Either way, it's mightier than the sword.
well, I'm pretty sure that quills typically have a lot less feathering.
About,
Why should we be listening to you when it comes to anything scribal?
You know, I don't know.
Heraldically speaking, a quill is a spool of yarn.
Okay.
let's see that. I'm trying to
According
see
to
this.
We have registered quill pens, I think.
Yeah, somebody looked it up. Looked it
Well,
up.
it's
and-
just a pen.
Yeah,
It
hang
is.
on a second. Yeah.
You don't have to specify that it's a quill pen. It's,
yeah.
Well,
they didn't have Bics in period.
And somebody was talking about the feathering, but again, they pointed out that I used the artwork from Mistholm.
And also, Magnus pointed out that this is not actually a new device; it's a resubmission.
Yeah, if you look up pen in the ordinary, it also refers you to feather. So the default
I'm not dying on
pen
that
is
hill.
a feathered pen.
Yeah.
But under pen, you also see things registered as a scribe's quill or a quill pen. A lot of quill pens are registered. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of just plain pens. Most of them seem to be registered as quill pens.
Well, the submitter is a teacher.
Hmm.
So if you say pen, I don't think she's going to have a problem.
Probably not.
In fact, I think she's going to get a bigger laugh out of it
Mhm.
because it's a red pen.
That most of the pens that are registered as quill pens. I'm still not seeing any that just say pen. So,
Well, it does turn into a
add-
check mark if you look at it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why would a teacher give a check mark?
I'll explain education to you later.
They give check marks.
Please do, because
Red
I have
pen
some
it, yeah.
questions, Alex.
There is efficiency, and then there's what we do.
And those are definitely not the same thing.
Yes.
But we're registering the emblazon anyway, so if they feel the need to further specify what type of pen, they can do that at Laurel level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
we
will.
don't have any issues with the image.
No.
We don't have any with the emblazon. Correct?
It
Right.
looks modern to me, but that is pure stylistic and no return for even a commentary to the artist.
All right.
The method of art, not the. I mean, the motif appears to be somewhat modernistic art, and I think the artistic interpretation is, but that's an eye. That's not pointed. But you were asking for artistic feedback.
There is that.
Yeah, and I will admit, when I was consulting with this person, I guess when was the original submission? Because she said nothing about her ever submitting anything.
It was
2011.
returned by Laurel in December of 2011.
It may be
It's been a while.
forgot.
The previous submission, did Magnus? Previous submission was
Azure, a Chevron Sable.
Chevron Sable fimbriated between two crescents and a triskelion of Spiral's ore.
So
Yeah,
we're
we-
talking a totally
was-
different design.
It was basically kicked back at this during the same meeting that the name was registered.
Ah,
So either way, it's been over the years, so she'd have to pay for it. So that doesn't change that. We just have to put in
That is a
pin in
resub.
that it was actually a resub.
Was it
It's more
returned
the
at Laurel? or
formality
at
than it is
Pitt?
anything
It was returned at Laurel, yes.
Okay. So it's a resub at Laurel then.
Yes.
okay.
All right. So this is good. We'll send it up.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
I hear you.
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you, Taryn.
Oh, hey, you hear me?
Taryn.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you to my
It's
wife.
a miracle.
So what was it this time?
Who knows?
She does.
She does. I don't. She's on her way back to her homework. The feather on that one was, I mean, it's a forced move. I talked to her at Knight's Gambit. She's okay with it being blazoned as a feather or as a quill pen either way. It's not a problem.
All right.
She liked what it is. It's all
Well,
good to her.
we're not finding a conflict either way, are we?
Yeah.
Nope. I checked it as feathers.
Okay. So, sending that one up, moving right along to number 9.
Woohoo!
You're a dolphin's daughter. New name. Desires a feminine name. Norse language, most important. Both names come from Gearbasi, and I believe that someone pointed out that the documentation should have Yora, not Yongir.
See, you say they're right across from each other on the same line. That's why I said it that way.
Yeah, because one of them's masculine and one of them's feminine. So we have to up.
So we will correct that.
That's it, Carlos. You're fired.
Hey, you can't fire me. I resigned.
He quit. And dropping the R to add the S is proper in the name construction. So,
Yes.
So the name is good.
It appears to be properly formatted, and it maintains all of the accents throughout as opposed to dropping them, so it's consistent.
Yep. All right. I think we're good.
Yeah, that's what happened with my name. I was trying to go with daughter of Mar, and we had to drop the R to put the S in. So,
Yes.
Mar's daughter.
Okay.
Moving along. Julienne de Vivon.
Send this one back.
I think I know her.
Geez, the level of vitriol in the
Now.
all of a sudden. No. Come on, guys.
It looks too French. Send it back.
I'm English.
Lucian wants to get off the couch. Come on.
Okay, y'all know why?
I'm staying at the Motel 6. What are you talking about?
They left the light on for him.
Do you know why the French plant trees?
So they have staves for their white flags?
No. So the Germans can invade in the shade.
Oh!
Ouch.
You know what a Swiss Army knife is, right?
Mm.
A Swiss Army knife?
Go
Yes.
ahead.
You know what a French Army knife is?
Just a casing.
3 cheese knives, 2 corkscrews, and a surrender flag.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Meanwhile, at the decision meeting,
Back to number 10.
Oh, come on, I'm vilifying the French.
got ourselves a resubmitted device,
Resub badge, yes.
a fleur-de-lis within and conjoined to an annulet azure.
Okay, so the annulet is the change from the previous submission.
Yes.
She liked it, so she put a ring on it.
Oh, we are on point tonight. Wow.
This is a marvelous badge.
Yes, it is.
I couldn't believe that there weren't conflicts with this one. That's absolutely, it's like, yep, they're all there.
Jacqueline de Leon is a person who made duchy while after being Queen of Meridies twice.
Yes. But there still is no conflict because
Nope.
Sophia's badge and her annulet and Fleur are ghouls.
The line art will be the same, but
And the same with Christopher Rollins.
well, Christopher, you'd get another point for the chain
Yeah,
versus
chain.
a standard annulet.
Yeah.
That was going to be my next question. If there was an actual difference between an annulet and an annulet of chain.
It should be.
I think I'm almost sure there is.
But you know, it just goes to show you can still register some farm. Or
Okay. I'm going to mute. I got to go switch cars. I'll be back in a minute.
All right.
okay. So, did anyone find any conflicts? Because I didn't.
I did
Nope.
not.
Yeah, that
No.
one no conflict found. I don't trust it.
No, with him.
I think that commenter is a little bit biased.
Yeah, I do.
I conflict checked this thing like 20 times.
Yeah, well, you conflict checked the last one too.
And then I just conflict checked it again like 5 minutes ago just to make sure that nothing got registered last month.
Yeah, I didn't see any.
Because I want us to be able to sleep in my own bed.
You
All
still-
right, I think we're good. I think we're good, and we can set this one up.
Okay.
Yeah, now you just got to make us through society commentary before you can sleep in your bed.
Mm-hmm.
5 more months.
Okay.
Okay.
Is Katerina just changing the one letter in her name?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Registered with an E.
Speaking of, moving along, number 11, Katharina von Brandenburg.
Hey, this is German. You can do this.
Yes. It is very German, yeah.
You know how much I love you all, right?
That's why you keep us around.
He is changing von Brandenburg to von Brandenburg.
Mm-hmm.
The E to a U. Brandenburg is to be released.
Okay.
This was
Oh,
basically
Isaac.
she wanted to be from the same town as Ulrich, just to
Yes.
make sure the spellings matched.
And so I believe Carlos was helping her with this at 40th year, yes?
No, Adelaide.
Adelaide. Okay.
Adelaide? Very
As
good.
soon, as soon as she saw her, she's like, "Carlos, I got this." I'm like, "Go with it." I'm like,
Yeah.
He's like,
Well, it's documented and it's a one letter change, and the only person she could possibly conflict with is herself. So,
Right. Yeah.
She started this about 2 years ago, I think it was, and just hadn't gone through the paperwork on it yet.
So I think we're good.
Very good.
"Clean it up."
mhm.
Woohoo.
Yeah, there's that conflict. We can't deal with it.
Now, Taryn, you're allowed to conflict with yourself.
Are we sure she wants to give herself permission to conflict?
Well, she's releasing. So
I feel
technically,
so conflicted inside.
all right.
Oh, we are on a roll tonight.
Moving right along. We're almost halfway through, guys.
Woohoo.
Doing very well.
Good.
Katrina de Coventry. New name and new device.
So we have a German between two French people.
Mhm.
Oh my.
So starting off with the name, submitter desires a feminine name. Sound most important. We have Magnus saying no conflict found on the name. No comments on the documentation.
I
She
checked the
preferred-
documentation. It's
Yeah.
good to go.
Documentation good?
Okay.
She preferred of Coventry, but what we found was de Coventry, and she said she was fine with that. So
Okay.
either way.
Okay.
All right.
And they like my ermine Paul.
Yes, they
They
did.
do. So moving on to the device. We're sending up the name. Moving on to the device. Azure on a Paul Argent Ermond Azure between 3 Kathleen. Azure, a Paul Argent Ermond Azure between 3 Catherine's Wheels Argent.
Yes.
They like your artwork, Carlos.
Yep.
Lucy didn't find any conflicts.
I don't either.
I conflict checked this at 40th year, and I didn't find any conflicts.
No.
Excellent.
I honestly don't think they'd run into any conflicts, even if that was a standard ermine.
All right.
But we're allowed to do it the way ermine and Azure.
Mhm.
But and that honestly, I'm not sure which I would like better from personal, but it's a great thing. Send her up.
Yeah, I like it.
Wow. Let's go.
All right. So
Somebody,
Go!
I would expect somebody's going to make a snarky comment about the little tiny tips of the ermine tails that are going over, but that's not an issue.
Right.
When you look at the large image, you see the little ticks from the
Top
on the
two.
sides at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yep. But I don't think anyone's going to give a grief.
Might be an artist note at best.
Yeah.
Yeah, at best.
If they give any comments on it at all.
Right.
Okie dokie. So the device is going up to.
Yay!
Moving on to number 13. Kete Rumlin.
Yes, I gave you another German.
And I appreciate it. I really do.
The name documentation checked out.
All right. So, feminine names sound most important.
It's got to sound like
Did
she's
any-
hawking up a bunch of phlegm when she says it.
Did anybody
German.
German? Did anybody check for conflict on this?
We don't have any commenters saying anything about.
Hang on a second here, then.
The
The three that Oscar suggests don't conflict at all.
yeah, they're not even close.
Well, we don't
wasn't
appear to
anything
have
else.
anything registered close to
No, I didn't see
Roland.
anything.
And we've got no obvious conflicts with the given name.
All right. So we will go ahead and send that up then.
The name part, correct?
Yes, the name.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the device yet.
And
I didn't think so, but there's lots of comments about that one.
Oh, there are lots of comments about that. All right, so the device per chevron sable and per pure, a chevron between two butterflies volant and a terrier rampant argent.
Why are those blazoned as volant, though?
Because I didn't know any better.
Okay.
We've already fired him, so it's all
You
good.
didn't fire me. I
He
resigned.
resigned. He did not. He wasn't fired.
He knew it was coming, so he just.
It's like, I'm not going to play with you girls anymore. I'm going to go play with the Seneschals.
Can we fire him from a cannon?
Okay, I'm just gonna say playing the Heralds is a lot more fun than playing with Seneschals.
It really is.
Yeah, there's legal responsibility with those seneschals.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can go to
Let's
jail
not.
for being a seneschal.
Yeah, let's not do that.
You can go
Let
to
him
jail for
learn
being a
this on his own.
Yeah, and it's more fun than being a reeve, too.
Yeah.
I don't ever want that office.
No.
All right, so Michael Gerard cleaned up the blazon for it. Per chevron, sable, and per pure, a chevron between two butterflies and a terrier rampant argent.
Okay.
Going
Somebody
up
commented on whether we registered terriers.
I'm going to ask something.
One second, going up to Taryn's comment first. We did find a conflict, but Carlos went and contacted the submitter that this device would conflict with, and we got a letter of permission to conflict.
Very good.
Okay.
Awesome.
At the
Okay, I
last
guess
minute.
we won't fire you.
Bravo.
Very good.
Okay, I'm going to sound. How important is it to this client that it's registered as a terrier?
Very. She originally wanted schnauzers, and then she went with the terrier.
Okay. She wants it in the blaze.
This is Ingvar's lady.
Okay. But
Okay, that makes sense.
The one issue that I'm going to point out is that there are many different breeds of terriers.
Yes, there are.
There are.
So, are we going to have to specify the breed of terrier? If we specify
No.
it as terrier.
Well, if we specify the breed of terrier, then it's got to be a period breed.
Here's
Most
my
of them
concern: is
are
if we push it for a specific breed of terrier, we're then getting into the Linnaean type of
whole thing,
Linnaean,
yeah.
and they really don't want to deal with that.
No.
Because I mean, honestly, I think I remember seeing people returned for pushing for Linnaean specific.
Yes.
So
No, they really want to steer toward that one.
I'm trying to pull up. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I'm trying to pull up.
if it's so knowing the client, if this thing gets blazoned as a dog at society, are they going to be upset?
I don't think the blazon is going to be a problem. Hold on. I'm also putting in. I'm trying
Well,
to.
we do blazon different types of dogs, like a Talbot, for example, or a Greyhound, or some of them.
Now, again, it's 2006, but the link I just put in there is the one terrier that we do have registered.
So, Carlos, my question would be, she wants terrier so that if the device does pass, etc., she then has artistic license to create it using a schnauzer?
Well, the terrier that they have on this registered device, the head is very, very similar to what she has.
Dog.
It is the same dog. That's why it kind of looks a little weird, because I kind of fuddled with it.
Okay, so that's where you got it. Okay.
Yep.
Explanation.
We can hope for it. Honestly, if they blazon it as if it comes back as a dog,
Right.
I don't think it's going to be the end of the world for her.
I draw my this is what artistic license is. When I draw a dog, I draw a Talbot.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody else draws a dog, their dog looks a lot more like a German Shepherd. And those are both dogs.
Right.
So as long as we can identify it as a dog, we're good.
Well, for conflict checking purposes, a dog is a dog.
Dog versus fox versus wolf versus everything else.
Versus everything else. And if we send it up from Kingdom blazoned as a terrier, at least it's not our fault if it gets reblazoned as a dog.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's further for her to go to jump on.
I think the image really, when it boils down to it, I believe the image is going to be what she really.
And that's what we register, anyways. Okay. I would recommend somebody, Carlos. You've got that image off the top of your head. Mm-hmm. I would recommend holding on to that so at society level you can say, hey, this is where we pulled this image from.
Right. Yeah. So just before we get going too far, that device was returned.
Was it?
It was not returned for the dog, though. It was returned for the bonnet.
In the commentary.
The device was returned for using a modern style of bonnet. There is no comment in the return of the dog.
Well, that's a good sign. If they didn't comment at all upon the style of dog, then there's probably nothing wrong with that style of dog.
Yeah, I think that the dog itself is going to be okay. As Michael Gerard pointed out, on the most recent LOAR, there was a submission where they commented there is a step from period practice for blazoning the specific breed of dog. The device in question had a basset hound.
Well, maybe then it's only a step from period practice to have it blazoned as a terrier.
And also,
I think that's new.
From September,
Well, we've got no other steps from
Specifying-
practice on
Yeah, there's
this.
nothing else with it.
Specifying the type of breed of a dog beyond that which is normally found in heraldry, examples Talbot or Greyhound, is a step from period practice.
But we can still get away with it.
Yes.
We can get away with one step from period practice on this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she'll get an SFPP. Oh well, give it to her that way, and that allows her to get her terrier.
Yeah.
Right, and then we can just put in the notes when it's sent up that we realize specifying this dog as a terrier is a step from period practice.
Yes.
There we go.
All right. So we're going to send up the device.
Love it when we can make a client happy.
Mhm.
Hooray. All right. So moving right along. Number
Okay.
14. Karina of the Osprey. New name and device. Name desires feminine name using the locative of Barony of the Osprey.
So as long as Corinna is acceptable, which it seems to be, Corinna of the Osprey should be fine.
Yeah, it's from LGPN, which I personally really like that for Greek names.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I think Maradona added
The date.
Yeah, added the
That
dates.
Corinna was found.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
So
And the link.
and the link. So that's very helpful.
Yep.
So I think the name is good. The device, on the other hand, we had a whole lot of comments on.
I am still totally confused by the unity of posture and
It's a
So let's
it's
start
a
off here.
nightmare.
Okay.
Let's start off. The new device is per bend, per pure and sable, a goose, rouse and proper, and 3 crescents argent.
Okay, first and when you said that, that's when I caught it. This is actually per bend, sable, and per pure.
Yeah. Top,
Yes,
bottom,
it
left,
is per
right.
bend, sable, and per pure.
So yeah, top to bottom first.
Sable and pure.
Yeah, sable and purpur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Now, do we need to blazon the increscents first in that case, or do we blazon the goose?
well, my
bottom.
device has this pattern, which and mine is per bend, argent, and vert, a falcon striking sable, and a mouse rampant conturning argent. The crescents because the chief item comes first. You push the chief item first and then the base item.
So the crescents have to be blazoned first as well.
The crescents do have to be blazoned first. They are in bend sinister.
Now this would
But they're
be
not in their default arrangement.
this blazon
Right.
is per bend, sable and purpur, in chief sinister, 3 crescents,
1 and 2.
and 2, and in base dexter, a swan rousing conturning, all argent.
Now, the comment has been that these are inanimate and animate objects, and therefore unity of posture doesn't apply.
We're not talking posture though.
Okay.
We're talking
Arrangement.
when we talk about the unity of posture, unity of arrangement, unity of we use the unity of posture because it's all 3 in one rule.
Mhm.
It's kind of like sword and dagger, how we've got 2 different styles of the same thing. You can't have a cat and a lion on a device. But at the same time, the sword and dagger rule also applies to the same charge in the primary and secondary groups. So it's kind of that catch-all group. It's that group of one. It's that group of, hey, we've got orientation, arrangement, and posture here.
Mhm.
It's an inanimate and an animate creature have different postures, which is fine. That's because we can only do orientations with this. They're both in default orientation. The problem is we now have
Arrangement.
this is an arrangement issue, unity of arrangement. if this were all four of them in a cross with one in the center, with basically the
If
top
they could be
crescent and
blazing,
the
yeah.
goose in line vertically, that would be a single arrangement. But we have a cluster and one. So in order to do this we'd need to be able to do 4 charges in a primary charge group, because this is all one charge group.
And that's not the case with this.
Right. This is 4 charges in a single primary charge group, and we've got this as 2 clustered groups. We might have been able to get away with it. Yeah, no. If she had done
if she had done the swan in the middle with 4 crescents around it,
we'd be
and
fine.
they were primary and secondary,
Right.
then she could do it. But I think that this is, I apologize, I tend to refer to this rule as the unity posture rule, even though
it's a butt kicker rule is what it. Here's another solution we might be able to do.
Right.
Add 3 more white crescents in that black section.
Make it
Make it
6.
crescenty.
Make it crescenty. Make it a semi in that black. Make it per Ben Sinister Sable Crescenty Argent.
You got a point.
Sable Crescenty and a. So and then
And swan,
and then the swan.
yeah. Because that might work.
That might work. And I'm not positive, but
that would work, because then it becomes a field treatment, not a primary charge.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Not a co-primary, yeah.
Would she go for
That
it?
would make. So that would make the swan the primary charge, or the goose the primary charge, and then the crescents would just be a field treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And
Or
that should
strong
get around
charges
this,
or whatever.
just assuming that she is not locked into the idea of having 3 crescents for
Right.
some symbolic reason.
Right.
Would she
It's-
go for that? Carlos, do you know? Since you're down in that direction?
Can't hear him.
Yeah, we lost your sound, Carlos.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. She may even be listening, watching us on YouTube. So I don't know. Karina, if you're watching on YouTube, get a hold of me. But yeah, I could check in with her.
Okay.
Matter of fact, hold on.
See if she popped in.
Yep.
See if she's on PM. Hang on. Oh gosh.
Also, another minor note: the goose is Conturni.
Yeah.
Oh, point taken. Yeah.
And honestly, it's an Argent goose, not a. I mean, beak and feet being yellow is not going to be enough of an issue for them.
Oh,
Right.
no.
It's a white goose.
But it does have to be blazed as Conturni.
Yeah, we need the orientation for it, but.
But with the way unity of posture arrangement is working, we really won't. Sounds like we really won't ever be able to have inanimate and animate charges together.
If this were one crescent and a goose in the same, if we had one big crescent instead of 3, we're fine.
Yeah.
Carlos, I just got her on PM. I'm going to have her contact you.
Okay, I just sent one to her.
Okay.
Per Ben, Sinister, Sable, and Argent, 3 crescents, 1 and 2, and a Sea Wolf counterchanged was registered in August of 2017.
Well, that artwork is it 3 above 1?
I don't know.
Hold on.
We can probably look at
What was
Seneca
that
Oscar.
blazing again?
Because
You
if
put
it is,
What was
It's
the name on that?
Perben, Sinister, Sable, and Argent, 3 crescents, 1 and 2, and a Sea Wolf counterchanged.
So we're talking about the same sort of arrangement of crescents.
But-
And both of them on either side of it. It's a bin instead of a bin sinister instead of a bin.
What's the name for that one?
Here, I'll post the link in the chat.
Okay. Because you can have it across the line of division and still have it counter changed.
That's my concern.
Mm-hmm.
And reading that's what
I would be doing
in my head.
Every
This is the
time
exact
I think,
same thing.
Every time I think I understand this rule,
Okay.
I don't. I turn out I don't.
I love technology.
It's the same thing. This is the same thing between the two.
Yes.
You know what? With that, say we have a question, let Cormac know we don't know, but then link this thing and say you just did this though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only difference is it's
There's
instead
not
of
enough
per bang,
difference.
but yeah, I mean it's the same concept.
It is the same concept entirely.
Exactly.
I see the issue for the way that rule is, but that rule has been a thorn in our side since Emma put it forward.
Yeah. I have yet to run across anybody that completely understood it.
I think I understand it, but we're also getting new interpretations from Cormac.
Right.
So, I'd need somebody to. I sat in on all of the orientation stuff because of this. By the way the rules are written, there's an issue. But we have a most recent submission that does the same style, and we can say we're cribbing from that same style.
Mm-hmm.
And say and I mean the argument's going to be just because we made a mistake doesn't mean we're bound to we're bound to repeat them.
That was what I was worried about, that the other one slipped through some, or that it would say it slipped through some.
Somebody mentioned the arrangement, and their Unity apostrophe didn't even come up in the conversation.
It's Allison that mentioned the arrangement.
Yeah. So
I mean, I really would have expected Metron Harrison to flag on that as well. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, I think we should send this one up as is.
I think we should, and just
without adding the other 3 crescents.
Nope,
yeah, without changing it.
This submission gives me enough question in how Cormac is understanding it.
Well, I mean, at the very least, maybe we'll get a precedent on it.
Well, and here's the other thing: is this was August. This was August. So I'm pretty sure this was still a decision that was both Cormac and Pryor.
Okay.
This was either his very first one all by himself, or this was the last of his training wheels as Wreath.
Okay.
So they were going over things with a fine-tooth comb at this point. Mm-hmm. So if...
Yeah, because I'm actually looking at the actual image of it now, and it is.
It's the exact same thing, and that's what my screen's on right now. Is Freitas? It's the same thing. So it breaks the rule as far as we can tell the way the rule is written. But I'm going to hedge towards the benefit of the client and say we need to send it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So proposed blazon, per bend, sable and procure, 3 crescents, 1 and 2, and a goose rousant conturny argent.
Yes. But the note referring to the other registration.
Yes. And yes. I would grab the actual Oscar link.
Yes.
And throw it in there.
Yep.
Yep. And then that way he'll know exactly where you're coming from.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm letting her know that we're actually sending it up.
Okay.
Let's send it up. I mean, I'm going to be the one that's. I usually am the one, especially with Unity apostrophe garbage. Uh-huh. I'm usually the one that's yelling and concerned about it. But that other device gives me enough to say send it.
Okie dokie.
And that August decision meeting was just Cormac, so He was
Was that one
doing
just-
them
that
all
was
by
just him?
himself by then.
Okay.
Okay.
And when they do the wreath decision meetings, they've got it. They're sitting there looking at the things. So
Yeah.
I told her, says we are going to send it up. We found one that has the same motif to do a test case.
Yeah.
it's enough. It's enough to go forward with it.
All right. So we're going to send up the device. Moving on to number 15. Lucia Delamar. Name and device. This submitter has withdrawn her name and device submissions for this month's letter.
Okay.
She did not realize that she had a name registered.
Huh.
Because when she registered it in 1994, nobody told her.
Oh my God.
And somehow I missed it when I was conflict checking at 40 Year.
So her registered name is Lucia Del Mar.
Yes. Her registered name is Lucia Del Mar. She is going to have a name change and a device submission on next month's letter.
Okay.
The device is changed to give us a little more contrast.
So she's going to use the second redraw with the sable rondelle.
What we have right now is not actually in the comments.
Okay.
It is Ari Wavy, Azure, and Argent on a hurt fimbriated or a
No.
Argent.
Do not do a fimbriation on it.
Okay.
It doesn't need one.
No, the problem is that on a herd, it's still going to be a blue circle on a blue and
Yeah.
white field. You add the fimbriation, you wind up getting that into the issues of quaternary charges.
Right.
Which
And
is what we were wondering earlier.
We were having that conversation before we went live,
Yeah.
whether or not that would be an issue.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so I will get back in touch with her and we will play with it a little more and figure out how we want to change it.
I think just turning the rondelle to vert was really striking.
Changing the color of the roundel is probably what we're going to end up doing.
That's the easiest fix.
I just want to get in touch with her and figure out what she wants to change it to.
Right. Doing a yellow one with a blue with a blue sea nettle would be
Anything
another way.
other than blue or white.
Yep.
I think she specifically wants the white sea nettle.
So it needs to be a color. other
Yeah,
than
I think
blue.
I remember that being a case.
Okay.
Because she said that she preferred changing the color of the roundel to changing the color of the sea nettle.
Okay.
So
Well, the rondel's easier to color than the sea nettle.
Yeah.
there is that.
Yeah.
There is that. So yes, and she is going to be doing a name change on the next letter because she wants the spelling with the H, and her currently registered name does not have the H.
Ah,
I was
okay.
able to document it with an H, so we are going to go ahead with a name change next month.
Excellent.
Mhm.
So, number
Okay.
16.
Number 16,
Woohoo!
Marguerite Stewart.
Marguerite Stewart, new device.
Ah,
Her pale flurry counter flurry, vert and or, a call, and a frog combatant counter change.
Did anyone figure out what a call is?
I assume it's some type of feline, but
I'm trying to remember what we were looking. I the consult on this and the image from this. The last I saw this was at Morden and Emmeline's coronation. Is how long this has been sitting.
wow.
Oh, wow.
There was never, they were basically never had funding to send them in. So he had them in his files for a while. I want to say that we were looking at it as like a catamount or something to that effect.
I'm looking up calls on Miss Tome right now.
Okay.
I did not find it when I looked.
Yeah. I found it as a
It's
hood.
a monk's
but-
hood.
No, it
Yeah.
looks
Yeah.
like
This
a
is-
catamount or a lioness or a.
This is supposed to be a cat. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it's
supposed to be
obviously a cat. for
According
purposes.
to
of-
Maybe it's Carl, and that's the cat's name.
According to the Encyclopedia Heraldica,
And
it is
so is Carl and Kermit?
Yeah.
Who knows?
according to the Encyclopedia Heraldica, it's a monk's hood, which is not what is depicted on the emblazon.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I remember when this was brought to me. It is probably the modern name for it, but I remember him telling me he was one of the Feastocrats at 40th year. A call is a lioness.
Yeah, no.
Well, that would be an ounce.
That's an ounce.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if that's the case, then Colblath's
Well, if
judgment.
he's a fish crat, he ought to like the term ounce.
This is. They wanted the lioness, and I remember.
look at the
remember
very
what you did
bottom.
this time.
If they want a lioness, then
We'll blazon it.
Call it an ounce.
we'll call it an ounce.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. Other than that, there was Iago brought up an issue with the flurry counter flurry line, which I think the redraw below that Katla did
Yes.
clears up.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Did we get an okay on the digital cleanup?
I have not.
Do we need to get a digital? Do we need to get an okay for the digital cleanup on that?
We didn't change anything.
No, it's still counter flurry.
It is still flurry counter flurry.
Right.
I will need to get in touch with Katla and get the line art for that as well.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you
'Cause
want me to
haven't
see if I can
received
reach Ragged Staff and see what they say?
it. Okay.
See if Liz is on.
Yeah, see if Liz is on.
Working on it.
I mean, it's just yeah. Have her look at this and say, do we need to? We just cleaned it up, made it more pretty.
Okay. So while Carlos is taking care of that, do we have any conflict issues with this?
I don't see we had any.
I don't see anyone
do a
commenting
conflict
one way
check.
or another.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out what a call was to conflict check it.
Well, now that we know it's an ounce,
Yep, I'm working on it.
And for a penny and for a pound.
Katla did
Probably-
a good job on cleaning up the digital.
Yeah, look really nice.
There are 12 ounces.
Well, it's going to be any cats.
Yeah.
There are 12 ounces in one
Yeah.
beer.
So semi of ounces could be a pound
Oh, jeez, oh, Pete.
or
I
a
think
cup.
16 ounces for that.
Or 40 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
Alcohol.
Let's see now. I can grab the images.
You mean to tell me there are 20 frogs rampant?
Really? Oh my.
One of them is my armored frog that I did for a Gulf Wars client.
Y'all
The
are
thing
evil.
that always bothered me were frogs regardant, because I don't think frogs can turn their heads that way.
That is actually a frog rampant artwork that I found registered somewhere.
Yeah.
I can't remember where, but
She's entering back, so I'm working with her right now.
Okay.
Go ahead and move on, and we'll.
We'll come back to it.
all right,
Yeah.
so we will come back to number 16.
Okay.
Moving on to number 17.
I don't see-
Marion Edwards.
I don't see any conflicts on this thing.
No, and
I mean-
no problems with the documentation.
Resub name change from holding name. So we're saying docs look good, no conflict.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the closest I'm seeing is Mathurin Edwards of Whiteacre or Mary Rose Edwards, and neither one of those are close.
No.
Okay.
We're losing a name element. And
Yeah.
I'll just
I think we should be okay.
Okie dokie.
Looks pretty good
So
to
we will
go.
send that one up.
Yay!
Moving right along. This dude named Matthias Blackett.
Yeah.
Send it back.
Who's that guy?
I don't know. Oscar wasn't able to find him.
Well, the reason Oscar's unable to find it is because my registered name doesn't have a C in Blackett.
Yes. So I will have to change that if
Yes.
we advance it.
Ragged Steph would like to have permission from the submitter.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And by the way, when you say if you advance it, here's the co-submitter right here. Can you say no to this face?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have before.
But we love
Yes,
that
I can.
face.
Well, but I have before.
Let's say we love that face, but we can still say no.
I'm innocent.
Wait a minute. Who was calling who innocent?
I said I'm innocent.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, sure, you're innocent.
We all know that Matthias is responsible for everything. Everything is his fault.
So
I don't
They
think
just
you're
gave him an
innocent.
albatross
One
for that.
second, young Padawan.
Wait a minute. That's my Padawan, not your Padawan.
Didn't
Go get your own
Matthias-
Padawan.
Yeah, go get your own Padawan.
Yeah, Matthias just got an albatross, so everything's his fault.
It's a pelican, not an albatross. No one's hanging a pelican around anybody's. Wait a minute.
All right.
I don't need to be reading so much old. Well, actually, no. Old Man of the Sea is a new book, isn't it?
Well, new to you. I mean, it's only a couple decades old.
It's only a couple decades old, as opposed to the couple of centuries I've been doing lately.
Yeah. All right,
How old are you now? 6,842?
6,450.
Sorry. Dang it.
10,450.
So Matthias has a new household name and badge.
Yes.
So is that the Black Braid?
Black Brad.
Now, technically, it would just not be resubmissions.
No, we haven't submitted this before.
Yes, but you have submitted a household before.
Yes,
got
we
returned.
submitted a household name before, and it didn't go anywhere. And we decided to just change the name entirely.
I believe that household was submitted under Mara's name, though.
Yeah.
So it would be a new submission.
All right.
Because Matthias has not submitted a household name.
Well, it says down here a laurel return of Mara Palmer and Matthias Blackett joint household name.
Mara would have been the primary, though.
Yeah.
This is making Matthias the primary.
Okay.
Yeah. Either way, we went in a completely different direction. So.
Yeah, it's going to be a black-handed day.
Whatever.
All right, so
Is there such thing as a black-handed compliment?
I'm sure we can invent one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if this passes, then yes.
Yes.
yeah.
Wipe the very soot from your eyes and see forth in the new dawn.
I mean, this looks like my hands after I get done with the day at work.
Mm.
Yes, Hephaestus.
I'm a pharomancer. Anyway,
I don't want to know what you're doing. I don't want to know what you're doing with that in your off time.
Single example of review for substantive.
so we have our.
A lot of discussion on this one.
We do have a lot of discussion on this. Kobleth seems to think that it is an automatic return because there is no
No substantive
designator.
element. Right.
But if I remember, if I
hasn't
remember
gone up
correctly, I think that Adelaide found. Was it Adelaide that found documentation for one word?
Yeah, household name can be formed or personal name plus the genitive plus house.
Uh-huh.
Aranis is dated to 1000, which does actually follow within the typical naming practices of things like Gloucestershire.
Yeah, I mean, we're fine just adding house to it.
Okay. So
Here's why I have Mara here, because she makes the decision.
Black Bradhouse as a total?
Yes. So if we just added "hus" to the end of it,
Then
would that be sufficient?
Would we then have to document Black Rod as a plausible given name?
Wait a minute. What does the translation of this word turn into?
Black palm.
Black palm. Okay. I heard black rod, and I don't think that would
be a bad plan.
Huh?
I would say that would be a bad plan.
Yeah, because black rod is a herald in the Parliament of the United Kingdom.
No,
this is black palm. It is a cant on our names.
Yes, I didn't. Somebody said it. I heard it incorrectly, and hence inquired.
If black palm is a plausible Old English nickname or given name, then we could use Adelaide's documentation to justify it pretty easily.
We have documentation right there. We got it from the Anglo-Saxon dictionary.
Okay.
But the question is that with the names, are those just for? Those are just descriptions of those are putting the words in the time period.
Mm-hmm.
It's not giving us as a name function.
Yeah, she said a household name may be formed from a personal name in the genitive form plus house.
Right. So we need to make sure that this.
If Black Rod could be documented or justified as a plausible nickname or personal name, then we're good to go. That would be one way to go about it.
You know, Matthias, if you change the hand from black to red, then you could be gingerbread house.
No.
You would also run up against the badge of Ulster.
Yeah, the red hand of Ulster.
Yep.
But I'm wondering, because black hand or black palm sounds like it might be a plausible nickname.
If we can find that as a descriptive by name,
or even a constructed one,
constructed, yeah.
Because in Old English, especially
plus house.
Yeah, in Old English especially, they had a lot of constructed descriptive names.
You check into Cornwall.
Let me go look. I've got a copy of whatever the hell it is over there.
Did you see what Magnus put under Adelaide's, that Brada, or is an Old English name? And he put a link. It's in reply to Adelaide's.
Yes. I saw that. That would be something for the submitter to decide on. Submitter.
Okay, I'm pulling out Tingvik and a couple of other things here that have Old English by names in it and see what I can find. It's a little bit hard to navigate, though. There's a lot of Middle English nicknames with black. Let's see.
I have a lot of black hands.
There's black skin, black cat, black lock, black lock, black beard, black cod, which is black hood, black lock, black cat, black hood. Black
So the existence of these black descriptors
Black
seems like it would be
something we have.
plausible.
Black eye.
So we have black something. That means that
something we have. We need to find something hand or something palm or something.
Right. That's what I'm looking for now.
We just had black eye.
Right.
And that's a body part. And
that is a body part. That is a pattern that we.
That's documented in John's Joe. Black bread, basically. There's a lot of black nicknames with black in the Middle English nicknames. Let me try another source here. All right, let's see here. Black. It's just plain black. Blackman, black. Okay, they don't have as many in that. But they have a lot of Middle English nicknames, by names that that start with black. You know, there's black skin. I'm skipping over the hair references and the clothing references. But black eye, black man, and black skin all refer to physical. Black soul.
Cool.
Black eye,
So
black Garrett. Oh, that's a mustache.
So we've got black. This means that now we just need to find something hand.
Right, and I'm looking through here because it's just not alphabetized that way to see if I see anything that has hand.
Yeah, but wouldn't black eye and black mustache be body parts? So black hand would be logical?
Yeah.
Well, black skin, black eye, and something else would be more logical than black beard, but
still they're body parts. So as long as we've got color, we've got body part. Therefore, color body part combination should be
It is feasible.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm still looking to see if I can find anything with hand on it. Let's see if it's got any kind of an index.
If you would, when you get a chance, could you put
I will.
Your document source in the chat so I can write that?
I definitely will. Hand. Let's see. Bond hand. There's a number of names in here with hand in them. Bond hand, grin hand, God hand, hag hand, hand brand, Lothan hand, Rue hand, sweat hand, and whit hand are all in here too as Old English.
Whit hand, whit is
white hand.
So that
And
is
so if
color
you can-
plus hand. So
So
we
if you have white hand, then you've definitely got documentation for a color hand.
Yes!
Yay!
Yay!
So hang on a second, let me write my documentation down before I lose my spot in this.
But that's going
So-
to get us to black. So we're going to get it to basically
Yeah.
black.
Got white
Yeah.
hand.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, let's see.
So just to clarify, we're kicking this back, right?
Yeah. Well, we have to because we're not at Black Brad. That's right. Are we able to do that with the hand versus the braid for the palm or the brad?
I don't see why not.
We've justified the color and the part of the body part.
Yeah, right now I'm looking for hand body part because I went and lost my spot. Okay,
Yeah.
black eye is what we're looking for, right?
Or you had white
looking-
hand. Is
we're
what
looking for
Yeah,
anything.
but I want to justify black first.
What I'm
Gotcha.
curious about is the brad.
Yeah.
That's the one that's got my.
Page. Black. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, because it's the other version is for black eye. Let's see, and it dates. It has one date in here. Trying to hold my place and type at the same time, so please bear with me here. And then this is white. Should tell me what page this is on. I wish I could type better with one hand.
All right. So while we
that's-
are,
I've got that
Okay.
down as best I can. If you need me to elaborate on it, I can look it up and send you more details on this.
all right, that would be.
But these are both from John's Joe Middle English nicknames, and it lists white hand and black eye. So.
All right.
So we know that probably black hand would work. Black palm is a little bit of an extrapolation, but who knows?
Right.
Would you be willing to accept black hand?
Mara?
It had to be changed.
Mara, since this is your half of the submission, I'm going to defer to you.
Well, also, we might be able to try that to justify black palm, though.
We're going to try.
The idea is
black palm.
The idea is if we have to go instead of palm, say hand, is that okay? Since
Yes.
we got black, she's the palm, so
Yeah, that depends on we actually change our name entirely at that point. Also, black hand has a lot of cultural implications, and it has been the name of nefarious organizations throughout history. Yeah, so black hand is probably a no.
But you don't want to be affiliated with the Dark Brotherhood here.
If we could use the formation of Black Hand to justify Black Palm, though.
Wait.
We might be able to.
Hold on. Going just with the simple full name. When we did Brialthan's household, we did Lion's Pride House. Okay, we used a full name and house. Late period English, we can use Black as a last name, used as a first name. Palm as a last name, used as a first name. So Black Palm as the person, Black Palm House.
Yes.
Or House Black Palm.
Yeah, so if we end up having to go that route, then yeah, we were hoping to go have Saxon, but
right. I mean, so we can. I mean, one way or another, we can get you something to get you there. I'd love to see if we can get the. I'd love to. I think we've justified enough to get there with it.
Yeah, we'll see.
I feel confident with the spaghetti that we are throwing against this wall.
That it's cooked.
Exactly. It's
that
like,
it will stick.
It's del dente. Let's go.
I feel confident that it will stick.
Del dente.
I think that we could we should send it up as Black Brad Huss to get the house.
Can't we just say House Black Brad? We really don't want to have to add Hoos onto the end of that.
Can we do that? Would that be?
Hold on.
With the combining, because that's a different. I don't do it. I haven't done enough household names to really know.
From what Coblaze identified is that the designator needs to be in the same language as the substantive phrase.
I don't know. I think you can get away with the lingua angula case of that because designators can be in lingua angula.
Can they?
Can we just?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Instead of doing Black Brad Hoos, can we do Hoos Black Brad?
We could try it, but
yeah,
they tend to have to be in the same way that the household names would be formed in the language, so it's a little bit trickier to figure that out.
Right, and yeah, and the Old English is going to push us with the Hoos at the end of it.
Does it have to be part of the word, or is it a separate word?
That's a good question.
From the looks of her documentation, it might just be run all together.
Yeah, according to the instances that Adelaide is putting in her documentation up above, it would be one word.
I'm less familiar with this process than y'all are. Is the documentation allowed to be carried to the next level, saying like it would be preferred to be Black Brad, but if it's got to be Black Brad Hoos, then okay, we understand. Like, is it allowed to be kicked up?
Wait a minute. Hold on. I've got a house here that might give us enough to work with.
Okay, yeah.
I'm looking to see if it's a recent submission that was Ildenbrock Hoos. It's a resub. It just went through in 2017. I'm looking to see what it is. Try it as separate words.
B3. This is the rule from B3. Designators may be registered in the original language or may take the lingua angula form.
Okay.
Okay.
So we could do House Black Brad.
That would be preferable.
Jawohl.
Right.
Okay. But we're going to have to put a designator on it because right now it doesn't have one.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And it won't
yeah,
get registered with that one.
Okay.
Yeah, Cat's Tress and Comb had to get a designator.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we should
in the
send it up that
documentation, we probably
way.
have to set that.
And just add the documentation that there are nicknames in Middle English with
Okay,
color plus body part.
I will doctor up that documentation to indicate that. And we will.
They're doing that.
Hold on.
Again.
No. I'm looking at the other thing here. Juliana, I'm going to put in the link for the description of this Gildenbrock Hoos.
Mm-hmm.
The discussion on this.
That'd be Golden something house.
It is, but the discussion in there seems to be germane to what we're talking about as well.
Right.
Because they're talking about that they're utilizing ensign names.
Mm-hmm.
So this Gildenbrock was a gold badger.
Golden Badger House, yes.
But Juliana says here there's early 13th century examples of by names derived from ensigns. So 1240 is one of the ones that they've got, 1222 and 1240. So it looks like they can.
We should be able to form it from an ensign then for the black.
Exactly.
Well, that's not Anglo-Saxon though, which was what they wanted.
Does it matter if we get them the sound and the word? The origin is simply the road.
Alex?
Huh?
How do you mean, Alex?
Well, because if we get you Blackpool, however you pronounce that, Black Brad, does it matter how we get there?
So circumventing via another language, or
yeah.
So Middle English, Saxon.
I can't hear both of you at the same time.
Saxon is what we were aiming for.
Okay.
And this is where my brain doesn't help me. What's the time period for the Saxon that we're looking at?
Pre-1066.
Okay. Yeah. So that doesn't. So the ensign doesn't get us back far enough.
Oh well.
But I think we'll be okay with using a person's name.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best bet.
Name construction.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I think I feel confident with what we have put together.
Yep.
Especially if we cite the rule.
Because Blackrod seems to be an Old English formation of a nickname meaning black palm.
Right.
And since we can form a household name from a given name plus house.
Yep.
Okay.
It looks like
so the language we've got color, body part combined with lingua anglica.
For the desert.
As long as we cite all that, we're good.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yay!
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
All right, so now we can move on to the badge.
Awesome.
We don't need no stinking badges.
Fieldless. On a dexter hand, a palmy sable, a Lombardic letter M or.
Yep.
It looks like a Meridian award badge.
Yeah, it looks like a Meridian M.
Yeah, that's why we did gold instead of white, and hands are heraldically distinct from eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And the second drawing looks a little more distinctive. That Kurt did.
Yeah.
With the bigger M.
Okay.
I all of a sudden want a double cheeseburger.
We literally traced the toddler's hand for this one. So.
Wait a minute. When did you get a toddler?
Long story.
40th year.
Yeah.
He picked one up at 40th year. You didn't see the vendor?
It's amazing what you can find in shopping carts outside of the local Kroger.
So,
They just leave them laying around.
eBay 379.
Anybody does that to my godson, they are going to be dead meat.
Uh-oh.
I love James.
You'd better.
Oh, he's adorable.
All right, so Matthias, do we have your permission to use the redraw?
Yep.
All right. So Kurt, if you could get me a line drawing of that when you get a chance.
Did anyone do an actual conflict check on it?
I just did.
Oh, okay.
Are we clear?
Yeah. Fieldless. I mean, you've got a fieldless badge, and there's no letters in with. I don't see any. Basically, unless there's another symbol that I'm not finding anywhere. Wait. Nope. The only one that I'm. Wait, let's
Oscar.
On a hand festwise sable, hands different direction. Rune is argent instead of. That one's clear.
Okay.
Yeah. The only. I mean.
Good news.
Because thank goodness for Cena. I mean, you've got. You get a point for a difference in type of tertiary now.
Right.
So. We don't have any other symbols. Basically, it's clear because of the fieldless bribe and the fact that you're using an abstract symbol instead of some other thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So.
Okay. Good to go. All right.
There you go.
Woohoo!
We will send that badge up, and we will use the redraw there at the bottom.
Yeah, for some reason my Oscar account's not letting me in, and so I can't actually see the redraw.
Let me see if I can take care of that real quick, Matthias.
Thank you.
Are we going to go on to the piker now?
I think I could.
I do believe so.
Okay. This
Or
one's a
in
piker.
between submissions, I'm going to go ahead and head out. I've got to get up at 5 in the morning, but thank you for letting me join.
Thanks for joining us.
Right.
Yeah, I won't be far behind you,
Well.
Shanna. Tomorrow.
Okay, Matthias, try it now.
Well, I'm kind of screen sharing right now, so you should be able to see it as long as I keep talking. So I'm going to just keep talking and talking and talking.
Right.
I do what I do best, and I just keep talking. Can you see it, Matthias? Do you like it, Matthias? I like it. I still want to make a double cheeseburger.
Oh, we're good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Excellent. All right.
Now I'm going to try getting into Oscar.
The wonderfuls of technology.
Oscar the Grouch.
All right. So moving along to number 19.
Yay!
Okay.
New badge for Oswald Hefring. Ghouls. 2 pikes, Horient, Respectant, Or.
I just conflict checked this one and no conflicts found.
I conflict checked this one at 40 year and I didn't find anything there either.
Yay.
Okay.
It's actually even kind of period.
Yeah. Although it's a little fishy.
Caught that one, did you?
Well, it is kind of half done.
Okay. Moving along to number 20.
This one, I think, needs to get bounced.
The Robin de Shelley.
Shelley? I have a suspicion it may be pronounced similar to Shelley.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Robin de Shelley. New badge, which is actually a resub from a long ago badge. Sable. This one is written down as sable, a decrescent, a cat's eye, and an increscent fesswise ore.
So
The one that I had, that I think I put on this at 40 year was sable, a cat's eye, or pupilled sable between a decrescent and an increscent ore. It would, I guess, it would have to be fesswise.
Mm-hmm.
But or infess.
Infess. But your blazons tends to imply that the eye is primary and the crescent and increscent, or the decrescent and increscent are maybe secondary, but they all have pretty much equal weight. And the original blazon seems to indicate that they're all co-primary. So what are they supposed to be?
That looks co-primary to me.
Okay.
Just to me too.
So we remove fesswise and put infess up towards the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Infess, a decrescent, a cat's eye, and an increscent ore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do we have any conflict issues or what have you? I saw that someone mentioned Sauron down below. The Eye of Sauron
That was me.
Eye of Sauron is a protected charge, and it is blazoned under Mordor. It is in the Ornate as Mordor. It is Sable and Eye ghouls.
Okay.
So it is important non-SCA arms. So yes. This
has at least 2 points of difference here.
I think we should kick this back for unity of posture. If we don't understand it, the submitters won't.
This actually winds up. This is one of those weird ones that you've got.
Well, this is also one of these people who had submitted very long time ago and finally got back around to resubmitting.
Right.
And is probably going to be seriously unhappy with the heralds if it doesn't go through this time too.
Well, and the thing is that what you've got is you've got the horns in a specific it's basically the horns. It's crescents respectant basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Crescent's horns to center.
What's that?
We allow phases of the moon.
Yes,
right, and that's exactly
that's
where my brain is.
Replacing the roundel with a cat's eye.
Exactly, and that's where my brain is with it. That's why the phases of the moon, the crescent, moon, crescent. We don't consider that as slot machine.
No.
Correct.
Well, this wouldn't be slot machine anyway because a crescent is a crescent regardless of orientation. So you only have 2 charge types.
Right.
Alexander, you were saying something?
It's the 2 crescents horns to center.
But there's not a way to blazon it using 2 crescents horns to center that doesn't make either the crescents or the eye primary with the other secondary.
Okay. I'm not fighting blazon. I think this is Sauron. I'm not thrilled with it, but
Sauron is a red eye, not a gold eye.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of what is actually registered.
Yeah.
In his eye is a human eye, where this is an animal's eye.
Intrusively modern.
I'm pretty sure it's not just in Sauron's eyes only.
They registered the Triforce. I'm willing to risk it.
Yeah.
I mean,
you register the Triforce because that's a period charge.
Well, and the functions on how they do the.
You're the one who's going to be taken to the Houses of Lamentation.
Mm-hmm.
It's you when I'm looking at the phases of the moon.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm looking at the phases of the moon registrations that are in there, it is the decrescent such an increscent, decrescent blank increscent, or increscent blank decrescent.
Okay, go with that.
All right.
It's.
So
I don't much like it, but I mean.
I think we've got to blazon it that way, though, Taryn, because if we don't get them co-primary.
Right.
So we will go ahead and send that up with the slightly doctored blazon. Moving on to number 21.
Did we get a conflict check on it?
I believe we did.
At least one person up here said they didn't find a conflict. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, Magnus got
I
one in there.
conflict checked it at 40 year, and I didn't find anything.
Yeah, Magnus said no conflict found.
Okay.
So I knew somebody up here in the printed commentary did check.
Okay.
It conflicts with my sensibilities.
Maybe you should get some new sensibilities. All right, so moving on to number 21. Rukaya Al-Zarqa. New device change. Or on a Saltier Sable, 5 mullets Argent.
I don't have a problem with this. I will tell you, somebody is probably going to make a comment when this goes up.
Yes, someone probably will. That conversation happened when we were talking about it at 40 year.
Yep. That's fine. Like I said, I don't have a problem with it. Somebody's going to comment because they seem to be more offended by things that you shouldn't be offended by, and then not offended by things that are very offensive. So
and old item or on a Saltier Sable 5, the Crescent's Palewise Argent is to be released.
Yeah. I will make an artist note, then I'm going to log off because it's getting late.
Okay.
The center mullet is a different size than the others.
Yeah.
It is.
And that
They
could
should all be the same size.
Yeah, they should all be the same size. That could be an issue with tertiaries.
I think that's just an artist note, though.
Yeah, I think that one's an artist note.
It's
Because
not sufficient to be larger.
I
those
actually
are
think
filling
you
the space.
probably, I think before you send it up, you need to get a new emblazon of that one, because that is a center mullet surrounded by 4 others, and it is pretty obvious that they're sized differently, because the center is certainly larger than the other 4. That they may not go with just an artist note.
Well, the other thing is those are all they're filling the space. They're all filling the available space.
I understand, but I would suspect that with that one, they're going to probably not be as lenient with it. So
I'm already working on it.
No problem. Like I said, it's just it's
reduce the size of the central star just a little bit, and they probably wouldn't.
My question is, are they mullets palewise? Like
they are, yes.
Gerard is suggesting.
They are.
Yeah.
Okay.
How would they be palewise?
Because they're not following the line of the anyway. They're
okay.
all palewise, yeah.
Yeah, I got you now. I'm tracking.
I'm gonna head out. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Good night,
I'm gonna go
everybody.
too,
My
'cause it's
husband
late.
went to bed. I need to follow. Night.
You did a great job, Pennon.
Thank you.
Good job.
Night. All right.
Night, y'all.
So otherwise, do we have any issues with this?
No.
No.
All right, so we will send it up with the palewise included in the blazon.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Moving on to number 22, Sean McCrory, new device. Or a quatrefoil vert on a Chief Sable 3 Eagles Jams erased à la Keys Argent. So we'll have to fix that typo in the blazon. Iago, I think, did that for us.
Yep.
And we're not seeing any conflicts. Magnus and Lucian both commented no conflicts found. Anyone else?
Mm-hmm.
Any other issues?
Style's great.
All right. move right along. Number 23, Siobhan Stewart. New device. Perben Sinister Rumpu, Argent, and Azure, a Gout de Sang, issuant of a needle sable and a spool of thread Argent.
That's not Rompu either.
No, that is.
I think it's more indented.
It's more
No.
the beviled
It's
again.
beveled.
More beveled.
It's beveled again, yeah.
Well, it's
It's
incorrect.
the same exact one from before.
Yeah.
It's just different color.
Mm-hmm.
The lining is
It's not a
deeper.
bend. It would be, what would it be, per pale? Per pale beveled? Because it's going top to bottom, it's not going corner to corner.
It's supposed to be corner to corner.
Yeah, I don't think it's properly drawn.
No, there's a revision down below with that Cypher put together.
Yeah, that is.
Yes.
Yes, that's much better.
Okay.
Although it's, yeah.
And I got the okay from the.
All right. So if you would, when you send me the line drawing, also forward me the email where they gave you the permission.
Absolutely.
So that when Reef asks, I will be able to say yes here.
It appears that the Goot has been redrawn.
And you fix
Yes,
the
the
Goot to
Goot
be
is now Goot.
The Goot is now a Goot. It is not a
Sehr
comma.
gut.
Not a comma.
Sehr gut.
God.
We are German, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
The Goot would be the needle is distilling the Gout de Sang.
Uh-huh.
All right.
So we're looking at Pearbend, Sinister, Beviled, Argent, and Azure. A needle sable distilling a Gout ghouls.
Goot de Sang.
Gout de Sang, yeah. And a spool of thread Argent.
Yes,
Yes.
I agree. Because the way it started off being blazoned, the
Gout was the big
Goot
thing.
was the main thing, and that's not.
Right.
So it is a needle distilling.
A needle distilling a
Distilling.
Gout de Sang. A needle sable distilling a Gout de Sang. Which then gets you the color within it.
And Pennant, you should have the redraws for the Black Saltaire.
Mm-hmm.
For the what?
For the one we were just discussing.
Okay, yeah. Yes, I got that. Thank you.
Yeah, for 21. There we go. I forgot the number.
Okay. All right. But otherwise, the device in number 23 is good?
Yes.
Once we have our redraw?
Did we get okay, we didn't have any conflicts on this one.
I didn't find any conflict.
So I see Edwin's. I don't see. And you said you did another one, so
Yes.
that gives us two. I'm good with that.
Okay.
I didn't see any when I did this thing 3 years ago. I was helping the Stewart family with these forever and a day ago, so
All right.
nothing new. Yay! Get them through.
All right, so moving right along. Number 24 is a throwaway, so we'll go ahead to number 25.
Yeah, I
No,
think the submitter said that he was withdrawing the submission on 24. So
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right, Lucian. Because all right, so Tearing the Wayward, new alternate name, Ermengarde is there.
the name documentation, I checked it. It looks good.
I trust Adelaide's work on this. I think
This-
Adelaide is doing
Well,
it right.
this was done at Known World Heraldic.
Okay.
And the batches checked out. They're both C batch, so they're on the approved list.
Right.
Except that Maradona pointed out that one of them is C97301-1.
Yes.
I see that.
Just need to fix that. But other than, I mean, the links go to the right places.
Yes.
All right. So that looks good. Did we? I feel fairly confident that we're not going to have a conflict on this name. But
Pretty sure we won't.
You listen, I'm putting together that Lens Connect persona.
Right.
Go with your badge.
He gets the very painful. Ermengardas gets the
experience.
The very painful experience. And then we're gonna make him into, and then we're gonna do Lens Connect garb with that as the motif.
Oh my God!
and
You're gonna make so many eyes bleed.
Oh no, he's gonna sponsor heralds.
Oh my God! Okay.
Field heralds.
And the field heralds all get to wear the tabard.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm not silly enough to try and actually do all of those little tiny ermine tails as applique.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to use tassels.
All right.
Karen, you're a sick puppy.
I could document that name.
Okay. All right, so we're going to send that one up, which brings us to the last item on this letter. Timothy Stewart, new device. Perbend, Argent, and Azure, 2 falcons, hooded, belled, and jest, rising, counterchanged.
I'm with Michael Gerard on this one. I don't see it feasible that falcons should be flying while they're hooded.
Yeah, really.
But that helps us. That gives us definition that they're falcons and not eagles.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think that changes for conflict, though.
Changes if they're flying blind.
I mean, they're still going to conflict against eagles, or other birds rising.
Maybe this is the type of guy that does go flying blind.
Maybe so.
I'm not one to judge. Magnus didn't find a conflict. Michael Gerard didn't really say one way or another, but I mean, I didn't find any conflict.
We have a step from period practice
for
a hooded falcon that's flying.
All right, but otherwise,
well, we don't have 2, so it should be okay. Should be able to register.
And again, this needs to be reblazoned. It's Perbend, Azure, and Argent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Good catch.
I'm actually doing a quick conflict check to be sure again, because of the coloring.
Do we need to specify that the falcons are in Bend Sinister?
No.
No.
No, because that's their default.
Like this.
That's going to default.
Yeah. Okay.
They're filling the space where they're
Okay.
located.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have any issues there.
All right. Well, then we will send that one up as well.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
I always hated those words.
But wait, there's more.
Wait for it.
Color. They're going to change by color. This one, it's the same thing but white and black. We'll get our 2 points for that one.
So somebody else is flying blind.
You get a point for the field and a point for
the field and point for the charges.
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, it just caught my attention.
Okay, so with number 25 being done, that is the end of this letter.
Okay.
All right, thank you everyone
Congratulations,
for
Pinnin.
thank you everyone for trooping along with me on my inaugural Pennin decision meeting.
Somebody check something for me. Are
Um,
we going to get a point between? Are we going to get a point of difference between displayed and this posture?
I do
This
believe
striking.
Yes.
you get a DC between displayed and rising/striking.
Yes.
We do.
Yes. Right, rising and striking conflict against each other, but they do not conflict with displayed.
Okay. What's the? Let me make sure the direction on that. Yeah, we've got several that are close, but I think it's still clear. I'm going to pull up the one that's most close. You'll want to say that we've seen it, but it's clear.
Mm-hmm.
Bourbon.
Purposes to order atmosphere, 2 eagles displayed, counter changed. Yeah, I think we've got got difference in the field, difference in the charges, and difference in the postures.
Well, we don't get a difference in the
We don't get a
charges
difference in the charges because eagles and falcons and all of those other raptors conflict.
No, I was talking
No,
about
the color of the charges.
There's a difference in
Because
field
they're
color.
this
There's
one's
difference in color.
Argent and
Argent
Azure.
and Azure versus Azure and Argent.
Right.
Okay.
So
that clears it. Yep.
Yep. All right.
So we're good to go.
So we are good. Thank you everybody for joining me. I don't have YouTube open to see if anyone is still watching on YouTube, but if you are, thank you for joining us. And join us again next month for next month's meeting. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Woo woo.
Woohoo.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
And we are going off